Hey, Team Numis Canada. That's what I call my members and subscribers. Hello, coin collectors young and old, and anyone else that might be watching. Welcome to Numis Canada with Bruce. And today we have episode 8 of season 1 of the Statehood Quarters collection. And we'll get into that right after this. Welcome back. So we'll get into this and we'll move these aside and open it. And episode 8 in the Statehood Quarters book is South Carolina. And of course we have South Carolina, the Palmetto state, which joined Confederation in 1788. And there we have the state seal. And of course, I'll give you a photograph of the original seal, and likewise for the state flag. And that is a lovely photo of the Cypress Gardens located near Charleston, among South Carolina's most beautiful attraction. The gardens are filled with cypress trees and beautiful flowers. South Carolina Statehood Quarter dollars, minting limited to 10 weeks, issued May 22, 2000. Brilliant uncirculated condition. And here is the coins, and this is the Philadelphia reverse and the Denver obverse. And it states, the unique South Carolina quarter dollar design features a group of symbols representing the state outlined with a star for the capital of Columbia, the Carolina wren, which was officially recognized as a state bird in 1948, the yellow jasmine, which became the state flower in 1924, and the state tree, the palmetto. In addition to the state nickname, the Palmetto State is featured as part of the design. The palmetto tree, which can be found primarily along the state's coastal areas, became an official symbol of South Carolina after Colonel William Moultrie, who historically defended the Palmetto log fort on Sullivan's Island against a British fleet on June 28, 1776. Colonel Moultrie had also designed the original South Carolina flag in 1755. It has a blue background to match the color of the militia's uniforms and a crescent from the front of the caps they wore. The palmetto tree was added to the flag in 1861 after the state seceded from the Union. The tree was also part of the South Carolina state seal and was adopted as the official tree in 1939. And of course, South Carolina entered the Union on May 23, 1788. And we'll turn this over. And we have the obverse from Philadelphia and the Denver from the reverse from Denver. The Spanish and French explored the South Carolina coast in the 1500s, but the first permanent settlement was made when the English established a colony near Charlestown, present-day Charleston, in 1670. It was named Carolina for King Charles I, based on the Latin form of his name, and split into North and South Carolina in 1729. In the early colonial years, the settlers built very profitable rice and indigo plantations. In fact, by the state of the American By the start of the American Revolution in 1775, South Carolina was one of the richest colonies, and Charlestown was one of the most important colonial ports. During the Revolutionary War, more military action took place in South Carolina than in any other state. Among the major battles were significant victories for the colonial forces at Kings Mountain in 1780 and at Cowpens and Utah Springs in 1781. On May 23, 1788, South Carolina became the 8th state to ratify the Constitution. The cotton gin, invented in 1793, allowed the state to prosper as a lucrative cotton plantations were established. By the 1830s, South Carolina residents became angered by federal tariffs, which posed restrictions on the state's free trade. Led by John C. Calhoun, South Carolina adopted an ordinance of nullification declaring the tariff acts null and void. For the following 3 decades, the issue of the state's rights was the forefront of the political turmoil. South Carolina's arguments with the federal government reached a climax in 1860 when Republican Abraham Lincoln won the presidential election, viewing the Republicans' party platform as a direct threat to its constitutional rights. South Carolina became the first state to secede from the Union on December 20, 1860. On April 12, 1861, Confederate troops fired the first shots of the Civil War, Fort Sumter in Charleston Harbor. During the war, South Carolina lost nearly 1/5 of the white male population. South Carolina was readmitted to the Union in 1868, but the state was then without slave labor, which had fueled the plantation system and brought prosperity before the war. South Carolina's economy did not fully recover until the textile industry became established in the early 20th century. However, the infestation of boll weevils, insect pests, in 1922 devastated the cotton industry and forced many textile mill workers to seek work in other states. In the mid-1900s, the shift from an agricultural economy to the industrial one prompted economic growth. Many military bases were established in South Carolina during World War II, some of which remained in operation after the war. Through the 1960s, the State Development Board sponsored many industrial expansion programs to strengthen the economy. At the end of the 20th century, tobacco, soybeans, cotton were South Carolina's major crops. A leading producer of nuclear materials, the state also had a wide manufacturing base. Millions of tourists flocked to its numerous beaches, historic battlegrounds, and beautiful gardens and natural forests. Now we have 2 stamps here, and the first one is this stamp. And of course, it's Andrew Jackson, the 7th President of the United States, is honored on this stamp, March 22, 1963. Jackson was born in a log cabin on the South Carolina, North Carolina border and served in South Carolina's mounted militia during the Revolutionary War. And that is Andrew Jackson. And of course, I'll give you photographs of the stamp so you can see it up close. And this other stamp, this is Arrival of Lafayette in America in 1777. And of course, this stamp is a 3-cent stamp. The first one was a 1 cent. This one was a 1 cent stamp. This one's a 3-cent stamp. This stamp, issued June 13, 1952, commemorates the arrival of Marquis de Lafayette, a French soldier who fought for the colonies during the American Revolution. His ship docked near Charleston, South Carolina in 1777. The capital of South Carolina is Columbia. The bird is a Carolina wren. The mottos: Dum spiro spero, while I breathe, I hope. And also animus opibusque parati, prepared in mind and resources. So while I breathe and hope, prepared in mind and resources. The flower is the yellow jasmine, and the tree, of course, is the palmetto. Well, this is a quick run through the history of South Carolina and the coins, history behind the coins that were released in 2000. I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like, subscribe so you won't miss any future episodes about the additional, or watch any of the earlier videos, episodes 1 through 7. So thank you for watching. We hope to see you again. Bye for now.
And please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and keep on collecting.